Welcome to the Sports Porch Pittsburgh, everybody. I'm trying to get the music right, and we're glad you're here. Does it sound like I'm yelling? Does it sound like I'm yelling?
A little bit.
Yeah,
You're always
hey,
yelling.
Sports
just turn that down a little bit. Yeah. Hey, Sports Porchers.
Welcome.
Yeah, so thank you for being here. Welcome to the Sports Porch. We are in Pittsburgh. We are all over the world. We are on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Twitter. We are live. If you're watching the show, obviously we're going to talk about Pittsburgh sports, but we want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. And you can always catch us and subscribe to the podcast, which we drop right after the show on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your friggin' podcasts.
Anywhere.
And theporcheslive.com, theporcheslive.com.
Theporcheslive.com.
That's us.
And every damn Sunday on American Busker, iHeartRadio at 4 p.m.
4
Eastern
PM,
Time, late in the day.
That's the time.
Folding laundry time.
All right. We got that out of the way, and we're going to move right into Bucko Talk right now. Not Bucko Talk. That's some other show. The Buccos Report. And you can catch the Buccos Report after every Pirates game on the podcast as well. And look, guys, I'm having fun. The Pirates, they're 3 games over 500. Not bad. I'm pleasantly surprised that at this point in the year, they are 4 games over 500. My apologies.
They're still
First
going.
place. That's
First
the
place.
most important thing.
Still going.
And Milwaukee just lost 4 in a row. So, I'm surprised.
Who'd they lose to? St. Louis?
I think they lost to the O's.
That would make sense.
Some of the games are against the Orioles and then somebody else. I don't know.
The Brew Crew.
Doesn't matter. So anyway, so the Pirates, but the first thing we want to do is we want to congratulate Andrew McCutcheon on 2,000 hits as a Pirate.
Cutch.
There you go. There you
Way to go,
Number
Cutch.
22.
Incredible.
Yep. And it was cool to see because on the Buccos
Took
report,
him a while to get that hit.
The previous game, he was robbed late in the game.
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
Mhm.
And it was one of those things where you could tell as he was leading up to it when he got to 1998 and then 99 that he was still playing the game. He was still like, if he could take a walk and get on base, he would do it. That's
right.
what a professional like McCutcheon does.
Mm.
But you could also tell that it was, even though he would probably say it wasn't on his mind because he's trying to play ball, you could tell like he just had to get there.
Yeah.
And
Monkey off the back.
that's right. And what the good thing was it was the very first at bat of that game, and now we're kind of past that. But here's a question I have for you.
Oh, looks
For you
like
guys.
Bob's asking it for you.
I bet I know what the question is.
Is Bob 2,000 hits is not Hall of Fame worthy? When Cutch retires, none of his stats will be deserving of the Hall of Fame. That was my question. And
Run through his stats. Give me his career stats
and
right now.
Bob, you are now banned. Just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. Let's go to McCutcheon's stats. Andrew McCutcheon. And that was my question. Was it not is he Hall of Fame worthy right now?
Right.
But is there a case for McCutcheon to be in the Hall of Fame? And the only reason that I ask this is because the Hall of Fame, even for the NFL as well as for baseball, the credentials seem to be kind of coming down. They're putting people in that you wouldn't necessarily have thought 20 years ago are definite Hall of Famers. So what are you looking for from?
Give me the
stats?
numbers so we can get an idea.
Okay, so
Give me average home runs, doubles,
Gotcha.
triples.
Lifetime 277.
Okay.
Let's see. 1,021 walks, 1,025 RBIs, 295 home runs, 50 triples. He's still one double away from 400.
Okay.
2,000 hits, obviously, right on that number. So, 369 on base percentage, 458 slugging, OPS 837.
Stolen bases.
Stolen bases, 212.
And he is an MVP.
And he does have an MVP. Hall of Fame?
I think by the time it's all said and done, he might be.
What's his batting average again?
277.
Yeah, he's in. Harold Baines is in, and he has a 289 batting average, and he had 2,800 hits. But he had almost 10,000 at bats.
Yeah.
How many home runs?
295.
He definitely has to get the 300. I'd say if he can get the 325 in the home run area, shoo in.
Yeah, he only has 7,200. Well, only, but he has 7,200 at bats.
Right.
What's amazing is his career is 1,952 games, and Cal Ripken played 2,632 straight. So always got to get that Ripken reference in there.
Well, yeah, I mean he's the classic Iron Man.
Yeah. So anyway, that's where I sit. I'm like, Hall of Fame for him. No, I hate to say it, but I just don't think so. I mean, I actually think I agree.
Who was on the ballot
with Bob?
Who was on the ballot for the Hall of Fame this year?
Jeff Paulus says no. DG is in the house. What's up, DG? I don't know. You look that up. I'm
gonna
tired
look
of looking things up. But that being said, I mean, I guess you have to look at it, Schwaber. Tell me what you think. Has he had a Hall of Fame career?
Scott Rowland?
Yeah, he's going in this year.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't.
That's my point.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think he.
That's
belongs.
why I
If
asked.
Scott Rowland can get in,
right? Yeah, I don't think he belongs.
No, that's the point. It's been so
It's watered
down.
Yeah.
Well,
Todd Helton got 281 votes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I sort of look at it like this.
I mean, I think Gary Sheffield belongs in there, but he got less votes than Andrew Jones.
Cutch is 36, Jeff. He's 36.
I mean, the one thing though is I don't see Cutch
Maybe
adding
like 3 or 4. Jeff.
I don't see him adding on a lot of stats though. That's the thing.
Right.
Like, I don't think he's going to get more than like another 200 hits or so.
But he will get the 300 home runs.
He will get the 300
sure.
home runs
for sure.
But I could see him getting like 315 total or something.
Well,
you know
yeah,
what I
but
mean?
that would be assuming that he only plays one more year. Do you know what I mean?
I'm saying between this year and next year.
Yeah.
You know,
no, if he plays he's 36. Okay. And if he plays another 3-4 years, his birthday's in October, so he'll be 37 the end of this year, 37 going into next year. If he plays another 3 years, and let's say he hits 15 home runs,
I'd say I'd only count on 2 years.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's just real. It's real hard to say.
Yeah,
it's real hard to say.
He'll be in the borderline. It depends who he retires with and who's going to be on those ballots.
Yeah.
He's probably only going to have like 2 or 3 years to make it in, because once other players start coming along that are better, he'll be lost.
I think he's got a chance. I think the main thing he has going for him is the MVP. You know, a lot of those guys, even like Scott Rowland doesn't have an MVP.
No, he doesn't.
I'm sure he wasn't even in the top 5 for an MVP.
Harold Baines, no MVPs.
No.
So that's a big one. And then the other thing I think is, I sort of look at it. Now, when we look at the Hall of Fame, traditionally we think, you know, a long period of excellence. But I think more so these days, you know, you have an opportunity to get in if you were, you know, a real top tier, like top 5 player for maybe even like a 5-year period. And I think he was that. I think he was that for like a 5-year period. He was like a top 5 Major League Baseball player.
Yeah, from like 11 to 15.
Yeah, like
10 to 15.
Yeah, like something like that. So I think that helps him.
Yeah.
The problem is he played on the Pirates, and those teams weren't very good.
Well,
although they were the best the Pirates have been.
Right. Well, the thing is that not only did he get an MVP, but he got an MVP on the Pirates.
I think that's a positive for the MVP. But the fact that he was so good on a team that wasn't not even, you know, National League Championship Series worthy.
Right.
Let alone they really didn't even really win one playoff series. That's kind of like kind of knocks that down a little
Although
bit.
I don't know in baseball that matters as much.
Well, clearly
the
it
other
doesn't.
sports. It doesn't. Yeah.
I don't think he's had a Hall of Fame career. I as much as I like him as a player, it doesn't smack Hall of Fame to me.
Well, I mean, look,
I'm sure a lot of Pirates
I would have said
fans
that
would
about
disagree.
Scott Rowland and Harold Baines too.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
I disagree with Harold Baines, but I have other reasons for that.
It's not going to be a first ballot entrant. This is going to be one where like he might get in his 9th year. When,
I don't know. I think
I think he would. It would have to be his first year,
his first or
and
second
he would
year.
have to be one of 2 or 3 people that are at the top of the list.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a down class.
Yeah,
it's going to have to be a down class.
And that's pretty much every class.
That's true. That's true.
Although I don't know.
I mean, there's not a lot of great talent that's retiring from baseball these years.
I don't know about that though. I think the further we get away from steroids, you're going to see more good classes popping up.
I don't think so. Like who retired 5 years ago? And this is a dumb question because nobody's going to know it. But I can't think of one player that retired 5 years ago in the Scott Rowland era of retirement, where like I'm like, oh man, yeah, he's definitely getting in, no doubt. Like why even wait? Like it's not like that anymore.
Yeah. Well,
it just isn't.
There is that. Yeah. Well, and the game has evolved. So there's certain things that are held in higher regard now as far as lifetime statistics than, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago. Then of course you do as much as you do or don't want to, you got to admit that the steroid era did have an impact. And if it had,
it kept a whole group of guys who definitely belong in the Hall of Fame out of the Hall of Fame.
And that's where I come down. But some people will disagree with us. I say, right, because of the stigma of that, now you have a situation in which there are people that are definitely deserving of it, who are far better than Andrew McCutcheon ever was, who will never get in, which is a crime. Right. So,
but Mark's right in the sense that those players are kind of pushed out. Like they're in the foreground now, and they're not even really in the conversation.
So here's one in 2024, first time candidates. You'll have Chase Utley. You'll have Adrian Beltre. I
think Adrian Beltre is worthy of the Hall of Fame.
In 2025, you'll have
but you just named 2 players who are
Well, actually,
as far as Hall of Fame worthy goes,
I think the next year gets better. 2025, Ichiro Suzuki. He's
definitely Hall.
Ichiro's 100% in. That's a no brainer.
CC Sabathia.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pitched a long enough time.
He'll be in.
Yeah.
Then,
but he wasn't like dominating.
Yes, he was. Yeah, he was. For like 3 or 4 years, he was like lights out.
Yeah, but he pitched for like 20 years.
Yeah, well, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame just for lasting.
Yeah, I mean, for longevity.
That would mean Rich Hill deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, though, and he doesn't.
2026,
hopefully he's
Cole
in the year.
Hamels. 2027, Buster Posey, John Lester.
Hold on a second. Cole Hamels is already almost eligible for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
I feel like that guy could pitch tomorrow.
Well, he's always talking about it.
Yeah. I know.
And how about this? In 2028, these 2 will definitely be in: Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina.
Pujols.
Yeah, Pujols.
No doubt. For sure. No doubt. But that's a dying breed, those guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame is it's a strange thing. So that being said, it's entirely possible that McCutcheon is voted in his first year. It's entirely possible.
I wouldn't rule it out.
I mean, to me,
2,000 hits, 300 home runs.
Yeah. And 400 plus doubles.
And an MVP.
Yeah.
That puts him in the conversation.
I think that puts him in the conversation. You're right.
Yeah, it just does.
Yeah.
Well, the bottom line is that, the big numbers just aren't showing anymore these days.
Yeah.
Honestly, like now that steroids is out of the game,
except for Aaron Judge, who's definitely not on steroids. Definitely not.
Well, he probably isn't, because everybody is like totally tested.
Hey, as long as you start out, that doesn't matter, because then you always look like you look.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm sure they haven't figured out a way around that. There's no cheating in baseball anymore.
Conspiracy theory.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Tom Brady did.
Yeah. Oh my God.
By the way, did you see the shot of Tom Brady?
Yeah, at the tennis game.
The first try, he was out on like a yacht.
Yeah, throwing a football.
Yeah, threw a football. Like they sent a drone out there. First shot, he hit the drone, and then he had like one of his sons, I think, was like driving a jet ski out there, like real far away, and he threw a pass and like hit him in the chest, and he didn't catch it.
Yeah. No, I didn't see that. But
he probably yelled at the kid.
Tom, terrific.
There's something about Tom Brady that makes me angry now.
We are one David Carr injury away from Tom Brady on the Raiders.
Yeah. You know what? Stranger things have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You think he would come back?
You mean Garoppolo?
Let's
he's already injured.
Listen, guys.
Right.
Listen, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna just push this talk out back to our NFL talk, which is coming up next. Okay.
Pump the brakes.
Congratulations to Cutch. You can catch your Buccos report after every Pirates game on the podcast, on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your friggin' podcasts. And I want to thank everybody who listens to that report. I'm still enjoying doing it. I think it's great. DG does have a comment. One thing that seeing Cutch tip his cap after his 2000 hit did for me was to take me right back to when Roberto tipped his cap from second. They showed a lot of that after his 3000. Absolutely no disputing his Hall of Fame. So there's DG's comment. It's not about disputing for me. It's about.
I think he's talking about Roberto Clemente's Hall of Fame.
Oh, well, yeah, there's obviously no disputing that. Yeah. No, I got the absolutely no disputing his Hall of Fame. Right. Clemente. Yeah. So as far as what to expect from the Pirates here at 34-30, I mean, it's a tale of two teams. I mean, they either light it up and, crush the ball and score 7+ runs, or, they get 3 hits and maybe eke out a run. And I think there just needs to be consistency. And that's what I talk about in the Buccos report all the time. There's no consistency in that lineup once you get, and really there's none at all. I mean, Cutch takes days off a lot. He plays DH most of the time. Mm-hmm. Key Brian Hayes finally raising his batting average up. He got really, really hot. And what did they do? They started moving him around in the lineup. And it's like, look, just leave him at 5th. Okay. Whatever that toe tap thing was, or the adjustment, let him get comfortable in a spot. That's all we need. Sawinski, let him bat 4th. He's obviously going to hit home runs for you. Keep him there. And I think if you establish that consistency, fine. Let Cutch lead off. Fine. It's working. Reynolds is batting 2nd because his on-base percentage is high. He gets a lot of walks. Fine. Leave him there. I don't care about that. But why are we tinkering? And my biggest issue right now, and I was listening to this on sports radio, Austin Hedges is batting 171 or it might be 185 now or 181. I don't know.
It was 189 last week.
Okay, yeah. But it's like, and I hear these guys on the radio talking like you got to have a catcher who's great on defense and knows how to call a game. Yeah. Well, let me let you in on a little secret. Every guy that has a C next to their name in Major League Baseball has the ability to call a good game and play good defense. Okay. And a lot of them bat, 230. Okay. This guy's like a lifetime 180 hitter.
Yeah.
You might as well bat your pitcher. You might as well bat the pitcher. Mm-hmm. Why in the hell? Let Jason Delay. This is his rookie year or second year. Let him play. He's batting 300 in his limited bats, but he's batting like 299 or 300. He calls a pretty good game. Let him do it. Why are they doing that?
Does the big catching prospect get a call up in the second half?
Henry Davis or Indy Rodriguez? See, there's two. There's two. Yeah.
Henry Davis.
Yeah. They're saying that Davis is a better, here we go again. They're saying that Davis is a better defensive catcher. And Rodriguez is a better hitter. So,
but Davis is known to hit.
Right. Well, right. Yeah. It's not that he's a bad hitter. I don't know what they're going to do, to be honest with you. I think you bring up one of those guys.
Yeah. You're going to have to bring one.
You got to.
You can't have a catcher batting under 200.
No.
That's just the bottom
look,
line.
And watching all the games, Hedges he's a great guy. He's a great, clubhouse presence. He's always supportive of the team. He does call a pretty good game.
Keep him as the backup.
But
he can stay in the locker room.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Put a smiley face on his locker room, and
give him
everything
an
will be
Eden Park
fine.
smiley cookie.
That's right.
Yeah, I
troll him out
agree.
there every 7th game. It's
I agree.
fine, you know.
I agree. I think the Pirates this year are, and the other thing that I will take a step back. The other thing that I hate hearing is any conversation that includes the words Cy Young candidate and Mitch Keller. Okay. Like, look, he's having a great year. And not only that,
second in strikeouts.
He defied what I thought was he was going through a little bit of a rough patch, which really wasn't a horrible rough patch, but he was, for about 3 starts, he was starting to struggle with locating his pitches. And you could just tell that something wasn't quite right. This last start, he came back, he made the adjustment, and he pitched. Okay. And he pitched them to a 2-1 victory because the bats do what they do. They disappeared. All right. So he's 8-2 with a 3+ ERA, second in the league in strikeouts, like you said. Let me tell you, he should not be in the conversation for Cy Young at all. Not at all. Not until we're, at the end of the year and he's got 18 wins and 6 losses and his ERA is 2.90. And he's got 178 or 100 or close to 200 strikeouts.
The numbers are the numbers.
Yeah, right. But I'm just saying
he might have 200 strikeouts by the end of the year.
Yeah, I think if he keeps pitching this way, he will. But, but at that point, yes, he will be in the conversation.
So
because
you're saying
it's the end of the year.
You don't have faith that this will continue.
No, what I'm saying is let's not put the cart before the horse.
You're worried about his feelings.
No, I'm not worried about his feelings.
And him getting into his feelings.
No, I'm not worried about his feelings.
And he's not going to pitch well because there's too much pressure on him.
I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. I'm just saying that we shouldn't be I'm saying that we shouldn't be putting his name in the conversation yet.
But it is.
No,
because he's a top pitcher in the National League right now.
No, I think it is.
Well, I think
it doesn't mean anything more than that. It just means he's one of the best pitchers in the major leagues right now.
He is in the top 5, but I agree with you. I mean, but here's the thing that I don't understand about Mitch Keller. Why does he look like he's 18?
Because I think he is.
He does look young.
Doesn't he?
I don't know.
He just like when I see him, I'm like, he looks younger than my son.
He's well, you should be.
I'm just confused by how young he looks.
I was about to make a Boy Scouts reference, and I couldn't bring myself to do it.
The other thing is, I think he can use to lose a few pounds.
Mitch Keller?
Yeah, he looks a little fat in the face.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Next time he's out there, look at his face. His face looks a little fat, like he's pushing some weight.
At all. Look him up right now. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I think he does.
He's 27.
I think he does.
He's 27.
I know, but he looks young. That's my point. Like
I think he does.
I think they got his birth date wrong on his birth certificate. I think he's much younger than he is.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
I'm starting a birther conspiracy.
Hold your comments. Brad Tromley says, Brad's in the house. What's up, Brad? He says they're a 100-win team. Then he laughs about it. And then he says, okay, 80, 85 wins. I'm not sure what to expect, honestly.
They're going to go through a rough patch at some point again.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I just hope it's not on the road that they're going on now, because they're in Chicago, right?
Yes, this is a tough stretch for them.
And then
because they're division games.
Right.
And it's Chicago, Milwaukee,
and then Chicago.
Back home for Chicago.
No. Yeah. No, they're all 9 on the road.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they are.
No, I'm telling you right now. I'm going to pull it up right now.
I heard this morning from a reliable source, there are 9 games in a row on the road.
You would be wrong about that.
You won't name your source?
At Chicago.
I will name my source. It was a prominent radio station in the Pittsburgh area.
Chicago, at Chicago, at Chicago, at Milwaukee, at Milwaukee, at Milwaukee, versus Chicago.
Yeah, they said there were 9 on the road.
I'm just telling you.
Maybe it's 9 of 12 on the road.
Maybe they were doing a little early morning sipping.
No, yeah, they were, because it's 3 at Chicago, 3 at Milwaukee.
Yeah, and then 3 Chicago.
3 back home here.
3 versus Chicago, but they're here.
And then 4 in Miami, and then back here for San Diego, Milwaukee, and LA. So honestly, looking at this now, here are their next like 4 or 5 opponents.
It's a good stretch for the
You've got
Buckeyes.
Chicago, 6 against Chicago, 6 against Milwaukee, 4 against LA, 3 against San Diego, Arizona, and Miami in there. So you're playing the meat. You know,
everybody in there is looking for those playoff spots.
Some good
the
teams.
Pirates currently have.
Yeah, this is going to be
that's before the All-Star break, right?
No, this is going to go past the All-Star break. This is taking you to. Oh no, you know what? Actually, it is before the All-Star break.
Yeah, all those should be about before the All-Star break.
Yeah, July 9th is the last game on the schedule.
So if they can split with the Cubs, they can take 2 out of 3 versus Milwaukee. I think that's where they need to be. They can't be less than that.
Yeah, I'm not. This is the stretch that is going to make their year. That's the point. I mean, you've got all those division games against Chicago, Milwaukee.
Right.
Huge implications down the line.
We have a hard time winning in Milwaukee.
I know. But then you also have 3 back here. So, you know, if you could split that would be good, or even take 1 more.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got the Dodgers, who they owned last year, but you just don't know this year. I'm looking up a guy that
Dodgers are going to go on a roll soon. I just hope the Pirates aren't in the middle of that roll.
I'll tell you what. It's Brad. I want to address his question. How do you feel if the Pirates take Dylan Cruz number 1 overall?
Is he a pitcher?
No, he's a hitter.
Then I'm against that.
Yeah. I'm.
You got to go after the pitching. They're never going to buy a pitcher.
That's true.
So you always have to go for the best pitcher.
But they're never going to keep a pitcher.
It doesn't matter as long as they keep a pitcher
Garrett
for 4
Cole.
years and then he goes away. At least they have him for 4 years.
Right.
They're never going to have a Garrett Cole that they're going to go buy.
Yeah.
Half of the batters don't work out. Too.
Yeah,
that's true.
Brad, I think that's a bad idea. How do you feel about it?
Brad, it seems to me, well, he'll tell us here in a second.
But how do you feel about it, Mr. Baseball?
I'm with you on the pitching. You can never have enough pitching, and also, I mean, any draft pick, you don't know.
Maybe they should get a catcher.
Take the kid from LSU.
They have a couple in there they need to bring up.
Take the pitcher from LSU who had 16 strikeouts and threw 156 pitches on a complete game.
But I'm with Mark on that one.
Yeah.
I don't know his name.
I don't know if he's draft eligible. Is he? Is he in the draft?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's in the draft.
But if he's that good of a pitcher, he's in the draft.
Was that an anomaly, or he's going to pitch like that all the time?
$20 million.
Yeah.
No,
for just being in the draft.
Yeah. I mean, he'll pull an Eli Manning. He won't go to the Pirates. Be like, I'm not going to play for the Pirates.
He should pull a Tom Glavine and go play hockey.
Yeah, or he said, did Tom Glavine really play hockey? Oh yeah,
he got drafted. Yeah. He got drafted to be a hockey player.
Yeah, wow.
Wish he would have. That son of a bitch.
Yeah. I like the pitching aspect of it, but if Brad is going for the draft a hitter, I understand why, because you're projecting that onto the lineup we have right now.
Yeah.
And in wrapping up the Pirates segment here, that's, expectations for this tough schedule. I'd like to come out on top by, 3 or 4 games. I mean, that's not a whole lot to ask, and I don't think it's impossible, but because of the difficulty of the schedule, it's really, really going to be tough to do that. Paul Skeens.
There you go.
LSU.
Paul Skeens.
That's
Thank
the
you,
name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm on the Paul bandwagon.
There you go.
Count me in on Paul.
Yeah, and I do think the Pirates. I think you can bring a pitcher up quicker than you can bring a hitter up. To be honest,
that Dylan Cruz is on the same team.
Yeah, they're both on LSU. Yeah. So I expect the Pirates. Unfortunately, given the fact that this is a real tough schedule, I would say going 500 through this would be a huge positive. A huge positive, because you end up on the other side of it at 4 games over 500.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's where they need to be.
Yeah, and
just play 500 until you get to the All-Star break, and then we can start talking about Cy Young awards.
Right? Maybe.
This Paul Skeen is 6'6", 247.
See, I bet he's not fat.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. Not like Mitch Geller.
I'm sorry, Mitch. I probably hurt his feelings. Yeah, sorry, Mitch.
We don't want to hurt his feelings.
I'm just confused about the way he looks, because he looks so young. And I don't know if it's that baby fat or what it is.
I think you're way, way too obsessed with the way Mitch Keller looks. Ooh. And I really don't like the term baby fat.
Okay.
That to me is like,
by the way,
you know what happens when you don't like something? You just change the subject.
I know.
This LSU,
or I get more of it.
This LSU pitcher is 12-2 with a 1.77 ERA, 188 strikeouts, 18 walks.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, but he's pitching against children.
Yeah, but he's 6'6".
Yeah, but no,
I love the idea of having a big pitcher out there.
Yeah.
Like you're a Bedard guy, right? So he's like the starting Bedard.
Yeah, I'm a Bedard guy.
Yeah.
Why? How am I a Bedard guy?
Because he's so big and he's so weird looking.
Where is this coming from? What's going on here?
You always loved the Bedard guy.
Am I being punked? What's going on here?
No, it's
what the hell are you talking about?
Bedard's like almost like a little bit like a John Kruk.
Oh, you mean Bednar?
Yeah,
Bednar. Ah,
Bednar. Sorry.
Yeah, see, you went to hockey.
No.
You're still,
no. We're not talking about Bedard, the hockey player.
You're talking about Bednar.
He's only 5'9.75".
Yeah, you're the Bednar guy, right? Yeah. Did you know Bednar went to Mars High School? He's a Pittsburgh He's a Pittsburgh boy. Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I should have known that a long time ago.
I see a lot of Permane brothers on him.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he's good though. No. He's good. I mean, they're wasting him here in this town.
Oh, don't worry.
He's going to be the guy that gets traded.
Oh yeah, he's going to get traded.
Actually, you know what? That next week, here's what we're going to do. Next week, we're going to have we'll see where the record is. We'll have our trade predictions. Because we have to go into this with we have to be a little bit, cynical about this. Of course, it's not lost on me that there's still plenty of cynicism around this team because there should be. And yeah, I go into the Buccos reports and I'm positive, but there's a lot of fans out there that they're diehard Pittsburgh Pirates fan, and I'm one now too.
Well, you're like the guy, you work for the Pirates. So
yeah, but I don't work for the Pirates.
Well, it sounds like you do.
I don't think it sounds like I work for the Pirates at all.
No, not really.
Pirates, if you're hiring, I mean, everybody's got a number.
G1 Bay should lead off. Okay.
Yeah, that's the first thing Chris would do if he became part of the Pirates organization.
I would. You wouldn't? You wouldn't lead off G1? You wouldn't lead that guy off? He's got a higher average. He's faster. He walks a lot.
No, I would start signing better players.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. We digress. All right. We're done with the Pirates. And thank you for listening. And thank you for watching. And remember, after every Pirates game, you get your Buccos report on the podcast, on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your friggin' podcasts. And you can always catch up with us on theporcheslive.com. And one thing we want to start pushing, guys, we got a lot of you guys out there that have been with us for a long time, watching and listening, and I can't tell you how much we appreciate that, because we have some pretty big announcements coming later on down the pike here about this year, and we can't wait to get to that. But leave us a review. If you listen to the podcast, do us a favor. That's how you can help us out. Leave us a review, preferably a 5-star. If you have any constructive criticism, about Mark or
save it for the
Steve, save it for the show. But leave us a review. We'd really appreciate that. Okay, let's move on let's just talk Steelers a little bit. Let's talk football, because we're all are you starting to get the jitters now?
No
withdrawal.
No, I'm not.
Withdrawal?
Not yet.
No
Not yet. No. I'm feeling okay.
Feeling healthy.
No,
I feel good.
You don't feel like you need to snort football? I mean, I'm ready to snort some football.
Well, that sounds like you have an abuse problem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've known me for a long time. I don't know why you're surprised.
You do. I mean, I'm seeing on your stash is a little bit of white, white powder.
That's not.
No, that's great.
The fact you were actually looking.
that was great.
That's powdered sugar. That's the donuts I eat before the show, guys. Come on, I'm too old for that stuff.
No,
football
season's still a little while.
Still a little ways away, but it's at least we're getting there.
Okay,
but
you got the OTA, you got the free agents. They're kind of floating out there. It's enough to keep me interested.
Yeah. So let me float some names at you, and then tell me what you think. How about that? DeAndre Hopkins.
I'm so surprised he's not signed yet.
Yeah,
it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, he's definitely a top 10 wide receiver in the league.
He is visiting the Titans today, and I believe the Patriots tomorrow.
Oh, great. Perfect for the Steelers to get burned by that guy.
Well, I
guess twice a year.
To be honest, I think the question is he still a top 10 receiver?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I think that people think with the injuries the last couple years, and then of course he had the suspension. Is he actually top 10, or is he a guy that's still a quality receiver, but he might be fading a little bit?
Yeah, I think he's a victim of his own salary. I think that's the problem. He just makes so much money. He's probably not worth the money he's making. But yeah, I think he can easily catch 75 balls in this league still.
Would he be a good addition for the Steelers? I'm not saying they should or they would. Would he be good on the Steelers?
I don't think they can afford him for what they would have to pay him for that position. They already have enough money tied up in that position.
Yeah, but he hasn't been signed yet. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to offer him the money he was making because the last couple of years between injuries and performance, he's just not worth it.
He's either going to go somewhere where he thinks there's a chance that they could win, but he also wants to be a number one.
Yeah.
And I think he probably sees that that's probably not going to happen in Pittsburgh.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
they're not even talking about bringing him in as far as we know.
Right. How many times last year did we talk about not having a true number one wide receiver?
Very true.
All season.
Season.
True.
So, I mean, he could easily be your clear number one, but that's not what the Steelers are going to do.
Yeah,
right.
But I think if he went to Tennessee, that'd be a really good move for him.
Well, and if he went to New England, he'd be the number one.
Except neither of those teams have a really good quarterback.
No, they don't. But Tennessee right now is the better choice, I think.
Dude, if I was him, I'd go to Dallas in a second.
Well, yeah, that's
I'd be done
strange.
with it. Well, CD Lamb's there. He's the clear number one.
Yeah, he's going to share the ball.
Yeah.
He definitely would have to share the ball, but only with CD Lamb. There's nobody else left.
Okay, Dalvin Cook. I've heard a lot of talk about him this week.
Man.
On sports radio.
The big feeling is the interest is in the Dolphins.
Right.
Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the best spot for him.
Yeah. Yeah. And I heard a lot of talk about it, but of course, Najee's number one.
Mm-hmm.
But and the Steelers, they don't like running back by committee. They like to load up one guy basically now.
I also heard a rumor today, him possibly to the Rams. That makes some sense. They struggled at running back this year.
That would make sense too.
Yeah.
I think either of those would be a good spot for him. Definitely not the Steelers.
Okay. Ezekiel Elliott. I think he's done. That's just my opinion.
Well, he's like a serviceable goal line back.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see where he fits in the scheme anymore.
It wouldn't shock me if you see him back in Dallas, on a team-friendly deal.
I
feel like they've moved on from him.
I think he's still hanging out there.
I wouldn't doubt that. Marks brings up a really good point.
And he's
they need another running back.
He's Dak Prescott's best friend.
Yeah.
I mean,
so Dak's talking him into taking a pay cut.
Probably.
Well, he would have to. That would be the thing.
Yeah. Well,
he would have to.
We'll see. Saquon Barkley got franchised. I just think the Giants are fake. I don't think they're going to amount to anything this year.
This will probably be a step back year for them.
I hope so.
They won all those games in the beginning by like a point.
Yes.
And I think part of that is the excitement of a good coach.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And a better coach.
Yeah, and him putting players in spots to be successful on a lighter schedule. But this year the schedule will be harder because they were a playoff team and they're not going to sneak up on anybody. And really, I mean, look, they're not terrible, but I mean, like, does Daniel Jones scare you? I mean,
no.
I mean, seriously, even does Saquon Barkley scare you?
Not anymore.
Not really.
Yeah,
not really.
He still does, but I think the two of them together are better. As if you take one of them away, then both of them are terrible.
Right.
That's the point. Like, I think the one complements the other because you have to guard against the other. And if one of them's not there, then it's all over for that team.
Okay. Last name, Chase Young from the Commanders. Are those rumors about him coming to Pittsburgh true? Or I mean, not true. Are there actually rumors about him coming to Pittsburgh?
Well, possibly? I mean, so you can bet. I guess you can bet on these things, and he has the fifth highest betting odds to go to Pittsburgh.
Right.
This year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the trade. Right.
I would say that I watched his rookie year. I watched most of that. And then he got injured. Or he got injured and then he came back and he had like 7 sacks in the last 8 games or whatever it was.
Right.
I did not see of all the Commanders games I watched, and admittedly not a whole lot of them, but the ones that I watched that he played in, there were a few. I saw nothing from this guy that led me to believe that he was ever going to be an elite pass rusher in the NFL. I just didn't. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. You got the skills and blah, blah. I did not see anything. And if a guy like him is going to come in and make an impact, he makes an impact right away. And
well, he did his first year.
He did.
Kind of. Like not in the way that not in the way that you expected. And then he got hurt. And I don't know. I think those guys lose their luster.
Well, I think what happens with Chase Young is he's looking at TJ Watt money. Right.
He's not going to get it.
And he's not going to get it. And TJ Watt money's kind of silly money for him.
Right.
But that's who he's compared to. So he might get like 16 or 18 million. Right.
He's not even in the conversation, I think, with TJ Watt. Not even in the conversation.
So the Commanders are basically saying, nope, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
And they just want to dump him now. The question is can they give him to somebody who will take him?
But
I think the answer to that is yes.
And get a second round pick
I don't know.
out of it.
Yeah, but that's the problem. I don't think the Steelers would give up a second round pick, and I also don't think they'd take an additional $10 million on their cap with all they've invested in their defense already.
Yeah, I don't see what he adds.
Oh, I think Tomlin would be happy to put another $10 million body on that defense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he loves defense.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's a defensive guy.
Yeah.
I guess if you have a guy like Young and he's healthy and he's reinvigorated and he's on a team that has another edge rusher who is one of the best edge rushers, now he's got a reason to play, and you're not putting him out there every down. You know, it could be a reclamation project. But
you're not going to spend that kind of money on a reclamation project.
That's the problem, right? That's the problem. But that's what I think he is.
So he'll stay with the Commanders, and then he'll go someplace in the offseason next year.
Well, what I read, weeks ago, what the Commanders explained to him, they weren't picking up his option. They said he understood why, and they told him, like, you've been injured, you haven't, your production isn't the kind of production, blah blah blah. So earn it this year. So maybe
this year he will, and then they'll still let him go.
Well, yeah, I mean, they do have new ownership coming in, so there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Good point.
So maybe at some point I'll do a Commanders
hopefully it's not the last name is not a nutting.
Everything's got to come back to nutting or the Subway diet.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
It always does.
Now what I want to do first what I want to do here is I want to bring up the fact that the Stanley Cup playoffs or the Stanley Cup finals are happening, and
Stanley Cup's in the house.
And I want to wish HJ a happy birthday because today is HJ's birthday.
Oh, I thank you.
What are you, 43? 39?
None of your business.
I think he is 2023.
Put your guesses in the chat.
Yeah. Isn't that right?
Guess how old Hockey Jesus is. No, you're 2023. Right. I got, oh my God, I caught up.
I'm resurrected. Hey Jesus.
Yeah. Coming from, so
bless you, my friend.
But I have noticed lately on the Hockey Jesus Stanley Cup updates.
What have you noticed lately?
I've noticed that there seems to be a celebratory background going on here. That maybe Hockey Jesus is taking a little bit too much communion during the games.
A little too much altar wine going on.
Is that what you're religious during these games? Because that last one, man, if you said the word Vegas or Las Vegas one more time, I was going to drive to your house
Vegas, Golden
and throw my phone through your window.
It's time to think about Vegas.
I was
raising the Stanley Cup.
Oh my God, I was listening to it.
Thank you, David.
It was so funny. It was just like it was like he's talking, and I was like, he seems to be going a little bit in circles.
I was.
And then
I wanted to close it, right? And then I got stuck in the thought process of Vegas raising the trophy. and then whether if they would raise the trophy in Vegas or in Florida, if that would make a difference.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was having this debate, but clearly it was also out loud too.
Yeah. I don't think you got stuck in the process. I think you got stuck in a barrel of wine is what it was.
Remember the place we went to after I think it was Monday night. We didn't have tickets for the Steeler game, that city place downtown.
Yeah, City Works.
And I had some drinks down there and I was yelling. Actually, I think that was an afternoon game.
It was.
And I was doing some day drinking.
Yes.
And I was yelling pretty loud about the screen. There was some shenanigans going on with the Steelers. And I got a little animated and you guys were laughing at me.
I remember. Yeah.
Right. It was kind of like that, only I finished there and then watched the third period in my house.
You were at City Works.
Yeah, I was at City Works.
Now, how did you get from City Works back to your house?
Well, we went out with friends and they were driving.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure. Just looking out for you.
Don't worry. I appreciate that.
I was wondering.
I won't be driving a scooter inebriated like my son is in Italy.
Yeah, but that's where you have to do it.
Well, that's pretty much what he told us. He was like, don't worry. Everybody's doing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
And the only people who are wrecking are the ones looking at the beautiful women on the streets as they're driving the scooter.
Yeah, and if you
and he assured me that would not happen.
Well,
assured you.
It's hard. I just got to tell you.
Oh, David's setting me off here.
Yeah, the rubber rats.
Yeah. He's gaslighting me.
Yeah, I know. Do you want to just explode now?
Yeah, I do actually.
Okay.
I hate those rats so much.
Yeah.
And at the end of the game, it even became more ridiculous because everybody knows that, Florida's on the precipice of losing, right?
Right.
Vegas is taking a 3-1 lead. They're not going to lose. I shouldn't say they're not going to lose.
They did come back on the Bruins down.
They did come back on the Bruins. Great mention, Mark. But it's only happened once ever in 38 tries, and it was in 1942 that Toronto did it. So I don't think it's going to happen this year.
That was a stacked Leafs team.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember it. Yep.
Yeah, back in 42. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Whew, it was hard. It was, were you rooting for the Nazis or were you rooting for Toronto? Like, I mean, it was a tough call back then.
They were playing the Nazis in the Stanley Cup?
He was saying that was during World War
I know.
too.
I understand.
I think you all get the reference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for ruining it.
I was just trying to keep the joke going.
It's history.
I failed.
So that being said, at the end of the game, there was a bunch of fighting going on. And there were two things that happened. One I wasn't aware of. Clearly the fighting you could tell. And then the fans start throwing these rats onto the ice. Mm-hmm. Stop the throwing of the rats on the ice. The NHL has to make this end. It's ridiculous. But you can't just take things that you bring with you and throw it. And if David, and I'm sure others have seen this too, there was a close-up of this one woman who was holding 3 rats.
And they were the white rats.
They were white rats. Yeah, but did you also
looked real.
Did you also notice the one on the very right had a hand knit jersey with a 19 on it? This woman brings these rats, hand knits.
You can't.
Something.
You can't make this up.
I'm just serious here. This is another reason to hate the rats. But she was holding them like they were her children.
But isn't the whole purpose
that's a fan though? That's a fan. I mean, I
agree. I agree with you.
She's a sweaters for her rats, hockey sweaters.
I'll
and
take
maybe
Barbara Rat on my side any day.
Maybe Barbara Rat, is normal for Florida. I think you would agree with me there.
Yes, it's a crazy state.
But in the rest of the world, that's not seen as normal.
But isn't the whole purpose of the rats to throw them on the ice?
Yeah. So
what happens when Barbara gets mad and forgets that these rats
that's
are her
what
pets?
That's what it's become.
Right.
But no, you should never throw anything onto the ice. That should be an automatic delay of game penalty. I don't mind one octopus at the beginning of the game before the game even starts thrown onto the ice. No problem with that. If they would get one great big rat and throw it onto the ice at the beginning of the game.
Are these rats all real or are they
No, they're all plastic.
Yeah.
Although I swear to God, the white ones look real, didn't they? I thought the first second I was like,
as soon as I see a rat, my eyes go black.
Yeah.
And I get numb with anger.
Numb.
I do.
Numb with anger.
I really do.
Yeah.
I just can't handle it.
Why aren't you as bothered by squirrels? Because they're just rats with bushy tails.
True. But he's eating squirrels.
Squirrels are good eating.
There you go.
That's true. That's
Squirrels
true.
are good.
And I've never
Straight
seen
from college.
and I've never seen the squirrel thrown onto the ice.
Yeah, well,
I haven't.
how many Penguins games are we going to this year?
If we
Well,
got
I always get like
if we
8.
got an expansion team, we'd have to be the Squirrels.
Yeah, we would.
I like the idea of having the squirrels as the expansion team.
Do you throw chestnuts on the ice?
Chestnuts.
Here's the bottom line with the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, now we're going to get the sober update.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I'll be able to follow this.
I
tell you
promise you I will be sober for tomorrow's night game. I cannot promise you that on Saturday night.
Yeah, well, when's the Taylor Swift concert?
Actually, no. They play Friday, so that's good.
Okay.
So they'll play Friday and the Taylor Swift concert Saturday, so I won't miss anything.
Okay. Should we have a special sports porch from the Taylor Swift concert?
I don't need one.
No. No.
Okay,
Did you see in that last game, Kachuk almost tied it up again at the end?
He
It
did,
was a hell of a save.
but Aiton Hill was there for the save, and Kachuk didn't look good the whole game.
No, he
Actually, he set out like 10 minutes of that third period. They're beat up right now, and like I said at the beginning of the series, they're very one-dimensional. They only have the front line, and when that front line isn't going, they're getting no secondary scoring. We all know how I feel about secondary scoring, and Vegas is getting all of it. Stevenson had 2 goals. Their defense is really stepping up and getting a lot of shots on goal. I got it that I just think that this Vegas has too much talent, and I think I really am hoping that they don't win on home ice, just because the Penguins have never won on home ice. That would kind of rub me the wrong way, but and I did have them winning in 6 anyways, so it would be nice if they lost one and then won again on Friday.
Amy has an important question for you, Steve.
Yeah.
I paid face value for my ticket.
Well, is that because you're part of the Swiftie Club?
Well, as far as you know, no.
What did tickets to Taylor Swift cost now? I mean, if I wanted to get,
if you wanted to get one,
yeah,
it would cost you a minimum of $1,000.
Yeah,
minimum. But I wouldn't sell mine for $1,000, and I would make probably $800 on it.
Wow. It's a guy who
and they're really good seats. They're not on the floor, but we're not floor people.
We're not floor people either. I like just a couple rows off.
Yeah, right.
Floor.
Exactly.
Side, so you can see. Right.
100 level.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
6 rows up.
Yep.
Right there.
My wife and I were going to go to see Pearl Jam in Chicago again this year, and their tickets were like $700 a piece, and we were like, forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Well,
crazy.
Well, to me, and
this is the concert of the summer, so
Yeah, concert of the summer.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody who's anybody is going to be there.
Well, you got Pink at PNC Park.
But you have now you're going to bring you're going to bring your Swiftie vest, right?
I'll wear it next week.
Yeah,
for you guys.
You had to put do you get like a little button for this concert? Do you get a button for every concert?
No, I'm not that kind of guy.
Why am I all of a sudden drawing parallels between Swiftie vests and
Grateful Dead
and Boy Scout uniforms and the badges?
Oh, Grateful Dead.
No, not the Grateful Dead. The Boy Scout patches.
I don't know where you're going with the Boy Scouts and Taylor Swift, but I can promise you that there will be plenty of Boy Scouts.
Amy
seeing
just threw
Taylor
down maybe a little bit of an insult there.
Yeah.
She's just jealous because she's not going because her man couldn't get her tickets.
Right.
Just saying.
We're going to another concert this summer, and maybe that'll be something we'll do as the weeks go along. We'll see how many guesses it takes until you guys can guess what concert I'm seeing.
Journey.
You ask
REO
Speedwagon. You ask questions and I answer to try to help you along.
Chicago.
You're wrong on all of those.
Sticks. No.
Okay, question.
Yes.
Was the band formed before 1990?
No.
See, that helps a lot. Was the band formed before the year 2000?
It's kind of in that area.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'd say no.
So it's not the Foo Fighters.
It's not.
Definitely not the Foo Fighters.
It's not.
See, now I have less of a chance of guessing because the only band, I don't even know any bands that were formed after the year 2000. Joe Bros.
Joe Bros? Is that a band?
That's a no. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Oh, Weezer. No, Weezer was before 2000, David. Okay, this will be good for future segments.
Yeah, future.
Definitely.
So
I'm going to do some research on 2000.
It's not White Snake.
You get 3 questions.
Right.
Klein, my musical taste is good. You're the one who has no musical taste.
I'd see White Snake.
He's assuming that I would see White Snake.
Yeah,
I would. Throughout that
You're
name,
the one who has no musical taste.
Oh my God. Listen, if you haven't seen Jim Kerr and Simple Minds in concert, you have not seen a concert.
Apparently.
There you go.
Yeah.
Apparently
you and the 13 other Simple Minds fans.
No, there were like
29.
37.
There were 300 there.
There was 29 last week in the group that I was in.
It was it was at the Tower Theater in Philly. Okay.
Tower Theater. I saw the Black Crowes there.
Back in the day.
We went together.
I think we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
We went
Who'd you see there?
your buddy.
Yeah, Sussman.
Yeah, Sussman. Yeah.
Oh my
Scott
God.
Sussman.
Is
Yeah.
that guy still alive?
Yeah, he's still
Scott Sussman, if you're out there,
bring him
give
on
us a
board.
call.
Yeah, please. Okay, that's it, man. Thank you for watching The Porch live on social media. We are always on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. And of course, subscribe to the podcast. We drop it right after the show on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you get your podcasts. And you can always catch us online on the web at theporcheslive.com, theporcheslive.com. And I probably started it right in the middle. And, I'm all over the place.
Amy, we'll get to what we're watching.
Yeah, we're going to do what
Next
you're watching
week.
next week.
Next week. Amy,
Stop by next week.
Yeah. Yep. Stop by next week. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Catch the Buccos report this week and Steve with the Stanley Cup. And it looks like the music is already over. So we're going to fire.
Do it again. Do it again. End on a high note, baby.
Guys, yep. That's it. I'm drunk on hockey. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.